Good morning. Okay, here we are. Oh, well, paper is out. Thank you for the reminder. If there is a reminder. Paper is out. Who's in today? It's going to be, there's three of them up there today. Subi-san, she's working on the July print. Yeah, for the Japan Journey series. Ishikawa-san's also working on that. We're down to the last couple of days here. They've got to get this ready because it's got to be packed for shipping on July 1st. Then Nei-chan's doing some yokai face-off back numbers. Kawai-san was here yesterday. He's doing a batch of, what is it? Oh, yeah, Zozoji Temple, the quotes. Okay, I better get going here. What have we got today? Today is Wednesday afternoon. It's not rainy, not sunny. It's a bit of a gray day out there. I'm on a schedule here. Cameron will be here probably, I guess, the normal time. Show and tell. I have a show and tell that sort of continues from Monday. I showed you those interesting Chirimen books on Monday, and we're getting together information and material ready for the next David's Choice video. So yesterday, Aoyama-san brought some stuff from Ome to bring here. And he brought some of the crepe paper books from Ome from our collection. So I can show you those. They're not new items for our collection, but they'll be interesting nonetheless. In the meantime, let's get busy on Mr. Owl here. It's almost done here. If I had anything else to do, I could easily finish this in a couple of hours this morning. But we're a bit short-staffed again today, so I'll be on party duty today. Yesterday I didn't get a whole lot done. As I mentioned before, it was over at the hospital yesterday. It was my annual checkup day. I got that package from the City Hall a few weeks ago, giving me the time and date and place and stuff. So I went over there yesterday. Nothing to report. Yesterday was the testing. What to do is it's two days. Yesterday was the scannings and testings and bloods and all that kind of stuff. And then next week, Tuesday, I go back for the chat. The guy will chat with me and tell me that I need more exercise and stuff like this. Ah, sucker. Camera's off? Sorry, just a minute. Where am I? Where do I go? My finger is right there. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Lady across the street in the lobby of the hotel with her vacuum cleaner. I think it's probably too faint. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but about every time nearly 8:30, 8:20, whatever, she gets her vacuum cleaner out. I guess it depends. Some days she's got the front door open. I think she must have the door open today because you can hear it. Yeah, cat entries, it's funny, the first, I guess what it was, 3, 4, 5 days, I guess, there were some stunning entries. There was a little bit of quick, totally not well thought out ideas, but there were some really, really, really well thought out ideas. I mean, I ask people to keep sketches simple, but there's a bit of thought going into it. But the last couple of days, the quality level has really tipped. The last 3 or 4 days, the quality level has been really much lower than before. What's happening is a lot of people are sending in a ton of entries. We've got people sending in 20 or 30 and stuff like this. And they're really not thinking it through very carefully for the most part. Variations, a mountain in the distance with a lake and a cat sitting there. A mountain in the distance and a lake with 2 cats sitting there. A mountain and a lake in the distance and 3 cats. I mean, please give me a break. If the idea is okay, it's okay. Just sort of to try and, it's almost spamming it in some cases. So more than one, sure, go for it. More than one, but just make a reason for it. Don't just dump it in, because what we're doing is we've got our database of these things, of course, and as it comes in and as I look at it, if it's been a while since one came in, I look at it. Oh, okay. And if I see something interesting or extremely skillful there, and I excuse me, and I click my little button. We've got a software thing built for this. As I look at each one, I just click my little button, something there, and that goes into my sort of the Davis choice section. And if I think, oh, here we go again, another one, I just leave it alone. So the database at the moment is in 2 groups. There's 95% of them with just there they are, and there's 5% of them or so that's something that caught my attention when it came in. And it's that group, of course, that I'll be feeding from, picking from for the next stage. Yes, again, somebody's mentioning here sellability. So there's something that I'm looking at these things with that other people maybe are not really thinking so much about. And it's really, really hard for me to describe it, like on a web page and even now to describe it. I didn't talk about it much at the beginning. I'm definitely going to talk about it in the update video when we do the next one. The idea of sellability. And it's not a question of selling out sellability. It's nothing to do with commercialism. It's a question of an image or something being heartwarming enough that people want to own it. And we have to think about that. And that's going to be a factor when I decide what images to take for the next stage. And what am I looking for in sellability? I can't tell you because I don't know. All I know is that if I feel it, when I look at that thing, if I feel it, I'd like to have this. I'd like to make this part of my life. So I'm a bit vague about that, but that's what it is. It is what it is, I think what I'll do on the cat thing now, it's we've been open, is it 2 weeks? I don't think we've been open 2 weeks, but somewhere in there. There are clearly now a number of designs in there, whatever, a dozen, more than a dozen, that I'm thinking, wow, look at this, there really is something here. These are the stage 2 level designs. So I guess it's time actually for me now to start pulling the trigger on some of this. And of course, we're not closing off stage 1. It's going to keep running until the beginning of August. But it's time, I think, to start moving now on stage 2 and selecting some of these, the ones that I really like myself. Selecting some of these for stage 2. And, once we get to that point, we'll be able to start putting things on the website, I think. And maybe, I haven't quite thought this through yet, once I ask somebody, okay, please take this to stage 2, it might be at that point safe or okay to put that particular design in the stage 1 public page, maybe, I don't know. Or should stage 1 just stay non-public all the way and it's just stage 2 public? I don't know. By the time it gets to stage 2, there's no concern about plagiarism anymore because I'm the one who has seen all the incoming designs and has seen what was first and second and what might have been copied and stuff. So at stage 2, there's no plagiarism fear, I think. Yeah, people have to trust me on this, Confused about evening glow and clearing weather. Well, I know, not sure what to say about this. They're similar, obviously, but evening glow, there must be a light source. There must be something that shows some kind of light, clearly. There must be a specific light source. We don't have to see something shining, but there has to be a glow. I mean, I think we're all understood there. Clearing weather is the tough one. You can either do it like the Harnova print I showed by analogy. There's just two girls walking outside, one protecting herself with a fan. That's pretty low level. I'd like to see something with a bit more meaning, and that's your challenge to try and think about this. And there have been some. There have been some already that quite show clearing weather. If you have a great idea you can't draw, talk to a friend, whatever, submit as a pair or whatever. Ask somebody else, write yourself a little note back and forth which one of you is going to do it, and talk to a friend and have them draw it. You know. I mentioned that before. We've got a couple of things. We've had a number of submissions where there is clearly a really, really good idea there, and the person doesn't have any technical competence to pull it off. And we're sitting here at the moment at this end trying to think about what to do. How do we do this? Because some of those I would really, really like to put through to stage 2. So we haven't quite decided what to do. We're sitting here camera-eyeing what to do about this. And I think at the moment we're leaning towards the idea that a couple of these ideas are so interesting that I really want them to be part of this. So we are either going to talk to that person and suggest that they contact a friend who can draw. And then if they come back to it and say, well, I don't have such a friend, then maybe we'll try and put some people together here. There must be illustrators out there who are like illustrators for hire. They would then need to be paid for that. We'd have to work out some way to do that. But there's some really good ideas from people who don't seem to have much confidence at drawing. Or maybe we take it in-house with an idea like that. Yeah, so maybe they can draw, but it's not evident in a sketch. No, we can see the difference. You can see clearly, there's very, very dramatic difference. There are people who clearly have drawing ability, and a quick sketch is done. And you can see in the strokes, every stroke has life, every stroke has a meaning. There's a big difference between a rough sketch by a person who can draw and a rough sketch by someone like me who doesn't know what he's doing. There's a big difference. You can see it. So it's not a question of the roughness, or it's a question of how much detail. No, that's not the question. You can see. You can see there are people who have such good skill that just in 3 or 4 lines, chuk, 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 so, pop, 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 you can see the concept. Can your drawing partner be Jed Henry? Good luck. You try and contact him about this and he'll put his guns on you. Jed is not interested in working for somebody else. Absolutely not. I was chatting with Jed yesterday on Skype, and we were looking at the final touch-ups on the September print in the JJ. He's done he's a very nice. It's simple. If I say simple, don't misunderstand. Straightforward, clean. For this year's Japan Journey, some of the Japan Journey prints have been more dense than others. If you think about the one for April, it was the Night Cherry Blossoms print. So that was dense. There's multi-layering, 8 layers. We're doing all of these with 8 layers. But that was dense. It appeared because the layers were heavy and there was lots of overlapping. And some of the prints in the series, even though there's the same number of blocks and colors, the snow one, for example, in February, that wasn't dense at all, but it actually had the same kind of layer. Then they got back and forth. And the August print, the tea leaves, we've got the same layering, and part of it is darker, but part of it is light and airy and open. And this one, the September print, is a mix of those things. It's the same 8 layers, and part of it is heavy and gloomy and dense, and part of it is light and open in the air. This would be a fun one, it'd be an attractive one. And he sent me the master copy last night, 2 nights ago. At the moment, carving is happening on number 8. Johnson is getting through number 8. And he'll be finished, I think, any day. So he needed number 9 to get started. And because it's summertime, June is coming up, or in June and July. And because of our lead time, Jed and I are going to have to make some final decisions soon on next year's series. And there was lots of conversation about it earlier, and I'm almost certain we're going to continue with some kind of landscape stuff because we are learning really well with this. We're learning, our printers are learning, it's going really, really well. But the particular title, taste, twist, and then the question of whether we should change the physical format, larger, smaller, more colors, less colors. Yeah, details. How many details? Of course, and as a guide, if you look at this year's Japan Journey series, they're a tiny bit smaller than what we're proposing here. The size for the cat print is between the Japan Journey and the Ukiyo Heroes. So details. And if your image is dense with detail, we're going to have problems all the way along. How many hours do I carve now compared to when I was first learning? Just a fraction. Just a fraction. All I do carving now is just here on the stream. That's it, like an hour every 3 days a week or something. I no longer have the right to call myself a carver anymore. My God, when I lived in Omi, before we opened this Moko Hankan business, if you go back to after the Poets series was done, once my kids had left home, so the late 1990s, early 2000s, from 2000, the first decade of the 2000s, I was a machine, an absolute machine. Get up in the morning, 6 o'clock or something, get a quick breakfast, head downstairs, and surface again at lunch, pleasant lunch, go for a swim in the river maybe, relax, and head downstairs again. And not surface till it got too dark, whatever. Just a machine all day long, carving and printing and carving and printing. One of the best parts of my life, best times of my life, those are. I made the Surimono albums, the Beauties of Four Seasons, the Scroll, the My Solitude series, the carving for that series was insane. 3 months on each print. So it's like in 3 months, 2 weeks of printing and the rest was all carving. It was a fabulous time. Yesterday the shop was closed, so Cameron and I were upstairs in the office area, and I was working on the preparation for the next video, among a few other things. And Cameron was sitting there, and it's funny, you know, because we're sitting side by side, he kept like asking this and asking that and throwing this over. It's not that he didn't know what to do, it's what was happening is Cameron's leaving for vacation on he's got 2 more days. This is, you'll see him today. This is the last time you'll see him for a couple of weeks. Cameron's leaving on vacation, going back to America, family time. And because he's going, he's trying to sort of clean up his box, his inbox and stuff. He's been pretty good about this. He's doing his work well. But inevitably, all of us, you know what our inboxes look like. That's life, you know, these days. But because he's going to be gone for a couple of weeks, he's cleaning it up. And we're joking about this. I know, maybe when he gets it, we should joke about it, whatever. He's an employee, and while he's away for vacation, somebody else is going to do his work. And that somebody else is going to be me. So I'll be taking over those email accounts and the order processing and the invoicing and doing the bill paying through those bank accounts and stuff. And I'll be doing that for the couple of weeks that he's away. And there's sort of a classic situation in certain size companies where you hear about this company where there was a person, especially here in Japan maybe, who didn't want to take a vacation. No, it's okay, I don't need that. I'll just keep doing my work. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And that's a red flag for an employer. It means this guy's embezzling money or something, and he doesn't want anybody to discover it when he's off on vacation. So we were joking about this yesterday. What am I going to find during the 2 weeks that he's away? Yeah. But having said that, he hasn't shown any resistance to the idea about taking a vacation. So I don't think he's worried about what I'm going to find. Because it was Tuesday yesterday, we had a chance to get out for lunch. You know, the shop closed. Those of us who were here actually go out for a bit of a lunch together. And yesterday it was 3 of us. It was me, Cameron, and Kawai-san, who was upstairs printing here on his shop day off. And it was funny. I know I told you a couple of weeks ago. Was it a couple of weeks ago or last week? I can't remember. I told you about a new restaurant that Cameron and I had discovered. It's a place where they do a salad Viking salad bar lunch. And we had really enjoyed it. We're both not so heavy eaters, and it was very, very nicely made. So yesterday, Kawai-san was here, and he hadn't been to that place yet. But there's another place. A few weeks ago, we went to the one with the pulled pork sandwiches. You know, that was also really good. But my God, that was heavy and oily. So it's funny yesterday when we got outside, the 3 of us. Okay, where are we going to go for lunch? And there's these 2 places that Kawai-san hasn't been to yet. So we got to take him to one of these to show him. And there was the choice: do you want to go to the pulled pork place, oily, heavy, thick sandwiches, or do you want to go to the salad bar place? And we were certain. I mean, the guy, he's a heavy dude. He's pretty rough. He's not a delicate guy in any way. I'm a skinny little runt. And we were certain he was going to say a pulled pork, of course, whatever. But he surprised us. He said, well, let's go to the healthy one, I guess. And we're like, what? And at first I thought what he was doing was just saying he made the choice because he knows which one Dave would rather go to. So he's trying to be a, nice guy to the boss here, And I said, look, don't decide for me. I'll decide myself when I'm going by myself. It's your choice today because you didn't get a chance to go for a few weeks. And he said, no, let's go to the healthy place. So we get there and we're joshing him about this, and he really enjoyed it because it really, really, really is a good place. But it turns out he's got a new membership at a health club, and he's starting to get worried about his middle-age spread, stuff like this. So we gave him a lot of good ribbing about that. Hello. How you doing, sir? He said, that time I always get surprised. I'm thinking it's about 8:20 or so, and here you are. 8:30. I was just dissing Kawai-san, mentioning we went to that lunch place yesterday, and the choice between two places that Kawai-san hasn't been to. Yeah. That pulled pork place or the healthy one, And when I said which one I want to go to, I was certain which one it was going to be. He was going to gesture over there to Honey, let's go up there. And he went the other way, and I'm like,
yeah, he said,
what?
Herushi no ho.
So I thought, my first impression was, okay, he's trying to not suck up to Dave. What's the word to use here?
Impressive.
He's trying to be a nice guy and choose the place where he thinks that I wanted to go to, I'm like, I get lots of chances to go to these places,
But it was great.
But I was just surprised at his choice, So.
Yeah.
Move the camera.
Oh, yeah. Into my ear. Carving the owl.
How is it up? Is it going to be rainy today or not? I can't tell.
No, it's beautiful.
Like a neutral day. Beautiful. Yeah. It looks kind of gray, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess gray, but not hot, not cold, just a nice temperature. Someone asked, how many impressions will this one end up being?
Four. It's just four. The owl that we did normally for the series, it's 6, but this is a simplified version. It's going to be key block, the blue background, and then 2 tones on the owl. There's going to be no moon and no flowers. This is just a very simplified window of this print.
Got it.
Very, very, very straight. We're going to make like 40 copies and then throw away. We don't usually do that, but whatever.
Yeah. It's raining here in the UK, and it has been for 2 days straight. So.
Yeah, I see that in the news, right? Floods and stuff and whatever.
Yeah. I think much of the US has been having trouble with flooding too. A lot of farmers aren't able to plant their crops because no machines can go into the fields without getting stuck in the mud. It's going to be a big problem at harvest time when there's nothing to harvest.
You're going for a vacation. Are you going? Is it a rural area where you're heading for? Or what's
Northwest Indiana is pretty rural.
Are you from a small town? Or?
Yeah, well, a town of 30,000. Is that small? That's small, right?
A town of 30?
30. Yeah, 30,000-ish.
Is that where most of your family still lives?
Actually, no, we're all over the place. A lot of people are coming in to
so that's where your parents are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the focus then.
Yeah.
I met your mother when she was here last year, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's right. And several of my siblings.
Yeah. They just kept coming in the door. One more, one more.
Yep.
We were joking, I was chatting with them that you're going to be here today, but it's your last day for a couple of weeks here on the stream. So I was joking, you're going off for vacation. And yesterday, we were sitting in the office up there yesterday.
Yeah.
And getting ready, you're cleaning up your box and stuff. Like, I don't have a chance to do that. Then I was lying to him. I lied through my teeth. So Cameron was telling me all this stuff. Oh, okay, don't look in this phone. Okay, I'll take care of that when I get back.
yeah.
You know, leave that bank account alone.
Yeah, leave
like
this one alone.
All the stuff you're embezzling and don't want me to see.
Yeah.
As if that would be possible here.
Yeah. You are the one in charge of all the bank accounts, so I think you'd notice if a single penny disappeared.
I don't know this stuff now. There was one, well, a couple weeks ago, there was 80,000 yen came up, and I didn't recognize this. I said, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Remember? And I saw you. I can't remember, who was the 88,000 yen going out to the Bob? He said, that's the bookbinder.
Oh, yes, okay, that's right.
You're the one who's done all the dealing.
That's right.
So, you know, so.
Yeah.
So as I get older and stuff, it's going to be easier for you to do these kind of things, you know. Cameron, what's this money for? Oh, that's for the second we get a new bookbinder.
Yeah, a new bookbinder, yeah.
I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, good, cool. Working out well? Yeah, we're working out really well.
Oh, no, I hope you don't.
She's my sister-in-law, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's an interesting question, actually. Of course, it's not an issue for us because we're still so small. And
right.
All the money, all the bills, there's just that many. But when you get a bit bigger, how do you control that sort of stuff, you know?
Trust the people, I guess.
I don't know. The other thing is, too, we don't have a problem with this kind of a business with people, the staff. What's it called when staff takes stuff home? I forget the word. There's a word for it. You know,
There's a word for that.
it's not just stealing or whatever it is. Shrinkage or something or whatever. Staff takes things home. And when I worked in the music store, it was sort of a concern.
Really?
Because you got this shelf full of saxophone mouthpieces and stuff, and they're like $120 each at the time, and reeds and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can't count the saxophone reeds. And on staff, you've got poor saxophone players who are trying to make a living as jazz saxophone guys, who come in and work for you part time.
Might be nice to have one extra reed.
Whatever, a good mouthpiece here, you know. So, and it's a concern because we had no way to sort of count those things, and this is before the days of having like security cameras and things. That was impossible. So it was a concern, and you got to look at these people and think, I wonder, you know.
Yeah.
So. Like the staff here, the only staff member that really likes Woodblock Prince is me and Doysant. And we're stealing the place blind. We do that.
Yes, but you keep track of it. Your mother chimed in. Everyone's complaining about the weather where they are, and your mother says it's super in Vancouver.
Really?
Fumi and I took a picnic lunch down to the beach with baby Clara.
Really? Pictures.
Yeah.
Pictures.
Send them over. So at least one place is having nice weather today.
That's it. Because we usually hear the other way around. Vancouver is usually pretty dreary sometimes. You know. So.
It's 24 and sunny in Knoxville. This is what we've come down to. We're all talking weather.
Talking about it's better to talk about medical, my aches and pains or the whatever.
Yeah. Every time it rains, my knees all swell.
Yesterday we did that show and tell about those
the books.
Crepe paper books, And when I looked at the at lunchtime I was looking over the chat record, and I'm not sure if disappointed is right, but I was a bit surprised. There is almost no comment about it or nothing. And we showed those books, and the chat went quiet, and that was.
They were all just flabbergasted. They couldn't.
I guess so, but I
dumbfounded.
I don't know. I thought myself that these things are so cool. I guess I was trying to express that, but I guess I didn't do it very well. Nobody seemed to be very impressed about it. It's touch.
Maybe because they didn't get to touch it.
Yeah, I mean, part of this is you have to feel and touch them. It's a big part of it, but I don't know. So it's a good of a hint because we're going to make this video in the next week or so. Or I'm going to make this video next week or so. I got to make sure I find some way to try and communicate.
How neat they are.
I don't know how to do that.
The Ungawa says, we're just waiting for the David's Choice video about it. We weren't ready. We're envious and sullen. Kate P said.
What can I do? Any ideas on how can I show the lightness of those things. And lightness, I don't just mean grams. I can weigh them and put this in. Okay, there they are. This book weighs 2.3 grams. It doesn't do anything. How can I show? And because the light thing is, it's not just the weight, it's your perception when you pick it up.
Right.
Your brain is telling you this should be heavier, but it turns out not to be heavier. Aerogel, there was a video I saw a couple of weeks ago about aerogel on YouTube, one of the channels I subscribe to. It's one of those things where it's like a sponge thing where the middle has been taken. So it's still a solid. Like sponges like that. It looks that big, but it's actually mostly air.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, my challenge to try and see how I can do that. How can I show for people the lightness of these things?
We need education. Put the mic up close, turn up the gain, and just rub the paper.
Oh, please, no.
Will there be a show and tell segment for today's broadcast? Daniel J. Newman.
Yeah, I've got some stuff. What happened was, because of this upcoming video, I'm making the next David's Choice video, number 9. It's about the crepe paper books made by Hasegawa. And the reason the theme chose itself after we got that book box, the one I showed you the other day. But in order to make a video, we have to have more ceramics and talk about some history and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Aoyama-san was in Oma yesterday. So I asked him to bring back from my own collection a few items related to crepe paper books. So I've got a couple more to show you today.
Oh, he did drop by in the evening.
So he actually did drop by.
Oh, okay.
Because Rei-chan needs the box. So.
Oh, okay.
So I have a few more crepe paper books to show today. But it's not an, oh my God, look what they've got, once in a lifetime auction that I'm finding. Although they are beautiful.
Yeah. So I wonder why why would anyone crepe the paper containing a beautiful woodblock print? Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. This is going to be my challenge to try and explain why. Because
Because it's neat.
I mean, woodblock prints are interesting. They are beautiful. They're nice to touch. But there's something about these crepe paper books. It gives them there's no words for this. There's just a feeling and a touch and a sense and a mood when it looks like one object but behaves like another. It looks like
feels
fabric,
more like
but it's
fabric,
paper. Yeah. This is going to be at the top. How to do this?
Yeah. Drop the print from a height to show how slowly it falls. I don't think gravity changes depending on how heavy the paper is. I don't know. It's still heavy enough not to have or be too affected by air resistance.
The point is, so if you drop a bowling ball on a feather, the bowling ball hits first here on Earth, right?
Here on Earth.
So he's not totally blowing smoke here. This
right.
Person, so.
Just record Suga-san reacting to it.
I spoiled it. I showed her those books the other day. So her first time picking one of these up is we should have caught it. Oh, I missed my chance. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But in the planning for the video, I've got a question mark on the list of things to include in this. And one is do this. It's do the man on the street. Set up a camera or something.
Yeah.
And we do the shop, and be out on the street, do the shop. People never seen this before. Excuse me, could you come here and help me for a minute? Do you mind getting over here? Here, I don't know. See this? It's a book. Okay, good. Do you want to take a look at it? Here? Hand it to the person and have the camera focused on the face. And everybody says the same thing. Oh my God! Everybody says the same thing, and it's so light. So. Yeah. It's not just the lightness; it's the touch and feel of the things, So.
Yeah.
So maybe in the video, if I can pull that off, I don't know.
Would the creped surface make the page stronger and able to hold up longer with more use?
When you read about Hasegawa, in fact, one of the research volumes that I've got talks about Hasegawa and his history and why he did this and what he was doing and stuff like that. And he started originally publishing, it wasn't crepe, the stuff he was making. And at some point he discovered this and tried doing it. And there were 2 or 3 reasons for this. One is that the things themselves are more attractive when you're in a shop and you pick up a non-crepe version. Because he published them in both versions at first. They were
Okay.
flat versions and also crepe. It was sort of an option.
Yeah.
And
Deluxe edition.
so there's the in the shop thing when you pick it up. Oh, I want to take this home. We were talking about this earlier with reference to the cat series. You know,
Right.
people want to take it home, and for some a manufacturer, that's an important thing. But the second one, and you mentioned this, because a lot of these were fairy tales or folk tales. The idea was that they would be given to kids as kids' books.
Right.
And as you when Ren was 1 year old, right, you had these cloth-covered books.
Yes.
The kid couldn't destroy it.
Yeah.
The kid could, in 1 minute, pick up an old book and oops, there's a page missing.
Yeah.
But the cloth books were physically more resistant to destruction when given to a child. And these do the same thing.
Okay.
Although, when you think about this thing, you give it to a kid and scrunched up and dribbled up. And
Yeah.
many of them, that's the fate they met, you know.
Yeah.
So they are physically much more resistant to wear and tear. Rather than tearing, they just get old, you know, whatever, old and folded and worn out and stuff like that.
More creped.
More crepe, yes, exactly, more crepe.
Any luck yet finding volume 2?
No, I haven't tried to find it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just what am I going to do? Search, you know, use a bookshop in Brussels? No, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I think it's just, that's it. They were separated at birth, or separated last week, or separated in the middle of the war, or one of the wars. I have no idea. No idea. I did Google for it, of course. I started Googling around in French and in English, and nothing turned up. What's your plan on the next couple of days? Just wrapping things up and get the billing ready.
Yes,
for
get the billing
15th
all ready
and
for
stuff
the
like that,
15th.
and, the
Arrange
pay-
all the payments that
Yeah.
need to be done
Okay.
over the weekend. So there's
Do
stuff
people
to
know
do.
you're leaving, or the other staff? You're taking
No.
orders for stuff they want you to bring back from America or something?
Oh, guess I should have thought of that.
I don't think it's not like that anymore. In the old days, it was. You know, when someone was going over somewhere,
Yeah.
there's the what can I bring back for you and stuff. It was a thing because we didn't have access to stuff.
Right, right.
Oh my God, you're going back to North America. Oh my God, I need some maple syrup or whatever
Yeah,
it was. You
yeah.
know, these sort of things. You know, yeah, it's a different world now, but that was the thing. You know?
Yeah.
What are you taking for gifts for people? The other way around, okay? Or it's because it's family.
It's all just family. They
Yeah.
haven't made any requests. I might maybe some sweets.
Go to Donkey and get some matcha Kit Kats and stuff. You mean?
Yeah,
Or
some fancy Kit Kats or
they did that
Daifuku or
themselves,
small
when they-
mochi or other things. Yeah, they all brought back a whole bunch of flavors of Kit Kats and then ate them over the next few months. It's funny hearing about them. I finally opened up the strawberry ones, and they're amazing. Like a month later. What's the special food item or recipe of Indiana? We grow a lot of corn and soybeans. That's about it.
So they're hurting now because of the China thing or something or whatever?
No, it's because of the weather thing. Last I saw was normally by this point in the year they will have planted about 90% of the corn crop, and they were at 13%. And so it's not going to be a good year for corn prices, I think. Or they'll be really, really high for the few people who were able to plant it. But Meibutsu regional delicacies aren't so much of a thing outside of Japan, I think.
I don't know about that. They've not so much of a thing in North America.
Yeah, North America, that's true.
I think Italy has the thing, stuff like that. Areas like that, Italy, Germany, those kind of countries.
Yeah.
You ask an Italian what any particular region is known for, and they'll start listing off various types of cheese and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
that's true.
I think so.
Cheese and wines. And,
Or whatever, yeah.
so much of North America is so interconnected that.
And bland.
Yeah.
And the history is not there.
Right. Iron Octothorpe says Granger County tomatoes. I don't know anything about that. Do you? No? No. Okay.
This is Indiana? I mean, I'm sorry.
I don't know. Is this collection of prints ones that are going online or going into the shop?
No, it's Kirasan waiting for me to put descriptions so they can go online. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's just, I could have done that yesterday, actually. It was just.
We had a quieter day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was more productive last night. I was organizing the collection stuff upstairs.
Oh, nice. Apparently those tomatoes are from Tennessee, and talking about how they're not actually that good. New Jersey tomatoes are even better. Funny. New Jersey is known as the Garden State, but in my mind I don't think of it as a rural agricultural place at all.
I guess if you go back to the 1700s or something, it makes sense.
Yeah.
The hinterland behind the big city on the coast.
Indiana-style food, beef pot roast served over mashed potatoes and egg noodles. Never had that.
Egg noodles?
Yeah. I don't know.
This sounds like some kind of ramen. I'm not sure what you mean.
Yeah.
Egg noodles means what? I'm sorry to be dense here.
Not sure. Egg noodles are Italian egg pasta ribbon style.
I'm sorry to be dense here. Egg pasta is made from like wheat or flour or something. What's the connection with egg?
I don't know.
So instead of a flour made with just like water and wheat and salt and stuff, there's something egg mixed into it?
I guess so, yeah. New person jumped in. What's this? We're woodblock carving, talking about strange foods around the world. Wheat and egg instead of wheat and water.
Okay, there you go. Sorry about that.
Is that an owl? I love owls. It is indeed an owl. We like owls here too.
Is he visible?
Yes. Should I zoom in briefly?
Hmm? Oh, our mascot?
Yep.
Mascot provided courtesy of my mother. She sent him over from Vancouver. It'd be when, a year and a half ago or so? I don't remember exactly.
Guten Morgen.
Oh, already? My God, is it that time already? What
No,
about
it's
that?
only 9:03.
Ah, somebody's early. Hello, hello.
This is wholesome. Indeed. That is Fridge, the owl.
Awesome. As in even for a Twitch stream.
Yep,
And
I guess
it's
so.
like, it's what you're used to, I guess.
Yeah. Considering the fact that so many people are interested in food, how about a new set of prints about 8 views of noodles?
Go for it. I'm kind of busy.
Yeah.
You go for it, guys. Evelyn, before I forget, sometime during the day between the parties, I need your help with a bit of German.
German?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You speak German, right?
I've been studying German.
No. I have to read something, and I need one. We'll see. I have to read some.
Okay.
Yeah. That's right. We have a native German speaker who can help read
yes.
these documents.
I've been struggling with that thing, and I just realized, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's right here. The help is at hand.
Yes.
Relax.
This is why we hired you.
Probably not too complicated for a German speaker.
We'll
see.
Or is it like some very old text?
It's a little bit old. Yes.
A little bit old.
Okay.
Okay.
It will be interesting.
Yes.
Now, what I have a document from the 1800s in German, and I have the translation in English from that day. And there's a couple of places where the English is really difficult to understand what they're talking about. And it could be that the German was clear and the translation was no good.
Okay.
Or it could be that the German one was difficult and that we can't understand either. But anyway, so if you read the German for me and we'll chat back and forth, maybe you'll have, oh, I see now. That kind of thing.
I hope so.
I hope so.
It was published by the Emperor of Prussia in 1870.
That doesn't sound too easy.
This is research for the next David's Choice video.
Yeah. Prussian documents.
It's Prussian documents, and it's literally a thing.
Yep.
It's funny, the last David's Choice video, or the number 8, I guess, about the Hakke. We went back to China in, what was it, 1150 or something? I've already
Yeah.
forgotten the year. And this one, we're going to go back to Prussia in 1873 or something
Wow.
to look at the evolution of Japanese prints.
Yeah.
I'm turning into a university lecturer.
You are. Your favorite
Fate
type of
worse than
person.
death.
Yeah.
Set the first on our rickshaw of the day, and that was
Yeah.
starting earlier and earlier.
Yeah, I was surprised there were actually quite a few people out on the street. Not right here, but a block or two down when I came up.
Tourist type people.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
They
starting
come out of
early.
their hotels and nothing to do at 8 o'clock in the morning. You know,
Right.
A lot of people too, they came in yesterday, their clock is still, the jet lag clock.
Right.
And it's actually a real problem because there's no, Japanese restaurants don't do breakfast. I mean, period. You gotta
Except
go to
inside
a
of your hotel.
Yeah, or you gotta go to Denny's or something
Yeah.
like this, whatever. So it's a real problem. I see them sometimes as a family, whatever, they'd be walking around, a German guy with his wife or something, and 2 kids in tow, and they're just, you can see they're hunting for breakfast.
Yeah. Where do we eat?
And if you didn't do it in your hotel, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Unless you're in a modern Western hotel. A lot of people are staying in these hostels and stuff like that where there's no food service.
Right.
Just assuming most walk outside, find a cafe and have breakfast, like if you would if you were in Amsterdam. Or
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that in Tokyo.
There are the stand-up noodle joints for breakfast with the salaryman. Best thing in the world, according to John Becker.
Yeah, that's fine. You're selling a guy with a wife and 2 kids, and they're not going to go for that.
Yeah.
And the easy, quick catch-all answer is just head for the 7-Eleven, of course, but they don't know that.
Right. Just trying to remember the name of this. Touchscreen, right? Yeah. You can get the best meals at 7-Eleven, and they have good food in the morning too. So.
Fresh. Fresh as it comes. You seen the new policy now that all the convenience stores have the request of the government to try and reduce the food waste thing? So
Right.
7 and Lawson and the Family Mart. They've resisted so far discounting food that's near its expiry date.
Right.
Supermarkets all across the country.
All
when you
do
get to
it.
4:35, 5:36 o'clock.
Yeah.
they-
20% off, half off.
They got to
Take it away.
Yeah, just get it out of this building, or they don't
Yeah.
throw it away.
I've been surprised Combini don't do that.
No, because 7-Eleven, I know, they've avoided discounting because their margins are so small. They have not wanted to move into anything where these shops would discount against each other to drop prices. It's kind of price fixing in a sense.
Yeah.
And it's in the contracts for the franchisees. They are not allowed to drop in prices, to put sales, to put a thing on sale,
Yeah.
even if it's 2 minutes before expiry date.
Right.
And the government has been hassling them about this because it's leading to huge amounts of food
Just
waste.
garbage. Yeah. They just.
So the deal is they've agreed now to do this, but what they're doing is, and this is going to come into play it's actually probably already started now in test areas.
Yeah.
And come in. No, not a cash discount. A sticker goes on the thing saying you get 5 Nautical points for buying this.
Got it.
So you get not a discount, but it means you get
More incentive to come back.
more to come back later and spend
Yeah.
more money there later. So that's their compromise between these two things, not allowing cash discounts.
Yeah. So then you have to get a points card. And,
Well, admittedly, most of the kind of customers there do already. So, but yeah, they're going to incentivize people to come back and
yeah.
it's the convenience stores now are facing, when you come back now in 10 years from now, I'll just put a number on the table, it could be 5 years from now,
Yeah.
probably 10, they're going to be so dramatically changed you won't even recognize them. Their single biggest problem is the same as mine, that they can't find staff, human resources to run their places because they're labor intensive. And of course we know how this is going to work. RFID chips on every item.
Yeah.
And when you go in the 7-Eleven, to get in the door, you have to tap the door with your smartphone. In you go, it knows who you are. You put the stuff in the basket, bing, you walk out.
Yeah.
X minutes later. No human contact. The only human guy in there is the guy who's frantically stocking the shelves because of all the stuff that's being taken away.
Right.
And it's clearly that's going to be the way it goes.
Yeah. Are you not going to include those leaves on the branch that they see?
there's no.
They're going to be chopped
they're
off.
Chopped off. So this is going to be an out. It's too small. Well, folks, these leaves are going to be. I don't know if I'm on camera.
Yeah. There you go.
This is going to be an oval, blue oval, with the owl in the middle and a branch across it. There would be no. If I did it, and there would be a sliver of moon. I'm almost certainly not going to include that. Although that's doable later. You can chop it out later. So I might test it by wiping my finger when we're doing our test print, see what it looks like. Because it might actually be a thing having the moon overhanging. So there might be moon, probably not, but it will no leaves. It's just owl in the oval. That's all we're going to do.
Got it.
It's not supposed to be a reproduction of the same print. It's just supposed to be a nice, interesting. Should we show this thing again? I got it handy here, buddy. This is last year's share certificate, and we did inkjet printing for most of it. Dave signs it, and we did woodblock printing for the red Fuji. It was 3 blocks. It was 3 blocks. Yes, red block, an outline block, and a blue block. The red block printed twice, so 4 colors. So this year's version is going to be the same thing, but instead of Fuji there's going to be our friend. So, It's going to be a highly sought after limited edition print, and actually it's too late to get it. If you're not in line for it, you're done. You know?
Yeah.
So,
So you have to have supported for a year, but if you start today, then you get next year's
so.
certificate. So.
But I don't want to push that because I don't want to give us money and buy stuff. You know, but this is simply a thank you from me to the people who have been supporting us. It wasn't really intended to be limited editions, but just the structure of the program has made it turn out.
Yeah.
How's your Japanese studies coming, Evelyn? Sound school okay, or?
It's coming to a close.
What?
It's coming to an end.
Really?
Yeah, it's only 5 weeks from now. So.
Oh wow.
I thought you were permanently doing that. Really?
No,
Oh.
I don't hope so.
No, I mean,
I only wanted to study for 1 semester.
Oh, okay.
oh, I misunderstood. I thought that was like student visa, and that's what you were doing here. And
Yeah, but if I stop studying, my visa won't expire, right?
I see. Okay. All right.
I hope so.
All right. No, I thought it was.
I could go on.
I thought that was the idea, to get better and better and better. So you're going to be what, good enough, or I'm not being sarcastic, just curious.
Good
What?
enough for my
Okay.
taste. Well, reading original literature is,
That's pretty good.
yeah, it's,
She's at that level.
being fluent in speaking doesn't really matter to me, because if we go back to Germany, I will probably forget everything. So
You won't.
if I can read, everything is fine. So
Cool.
because reading I can do in Germany as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah, completely different from my own requirements and interests. So it's for me, it's backwards. Of course, for me, the communication is the only important thing. I read very badly,
Okay.
and I'm not interested in learning more about reading. It's interesting. So for me, the requirements are opposite to yours. You know.
Yeah, I like to read the original version of books. So.
Pokémon とか。
Doraemon.
Doraemon とか。Pokémon とか。
So manga.
But there's an interesting point there, Evelyn. When I was first involved with Japan, even before I came here, I was sort of thinking about trying to study Japanese and stuff. And I got a book. It was a printout of newspaper editorial columns, and it had the English on one side and the Japanese on the other side. Probably Yomiuri newspaper.
Okay.
Like that's in my daily newspaper all the time. So in order, I was struggling with the Japanese. But when I read the English, I thought, what did he just say? I mean, what I'm getting at is the content was not anything I thought was.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, I mean, a newspaper editorial is what it is. What I'm trying to say is,
Not trying to.
I found that the Japanese writers couldn't express themselves in any sensible way. And what I was looking for, because I'm an English language person, when I read something, I want to see, what are you going to tell me? Make your argument, shut your conclusions, and away you go. I was expecting it to work in Japanese the same as it worked in English. Talk to me, convince me, give me your ideas. And the Japanese, the content of what they were doing just wasn't there. It wasn't there. It was just, there was a thought and an idea and meandered around and no conclusion. Like, why did you bother? You didn't teach me anything. You didn't make me interested in what you were saying.
But have you ever tried to read like novels?
So I got a bunch of Japanese novels, English translations. I Am a Cat, the Yukiguni, whatever, Izuno Doriko Toku, the classics, and I put my nose in those and looked through them. And I'm telling you here more about myself than I am about Japanese literature, but I'm sorry, I don't get it.
Okay.
I don't get it. It's just, for me, there's next to nothing there. I'm telling you about myself. In essence here, Dave doesn't get it. He's just not the right kind of person. I seem to be more of a simple, rational, give me your idea. Okay, I got it. Now let's just move on. And it's all about feelings, like talking to women all the time when you're reading a Japanese book.
Yeah, Yukiguni is like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't like Yukiguni. I finished reading Mishima Yukio's Death in Midsummer, Manatsu no Shi, and this is pretty interesting.
Okay, well, I guess.
Children die and the aunt dies, and it's about how they feel afterwards, and it's nothing compared to how people in German literature would feel about their children dying.
Okay. Well,
So,
this is
I
obviously a
think
good point. So, your personality is more of a mesh or more of a receptive match to Japanese
Not really,
literature.
I just think it's a very different kind of literature compared to the English literature, and this is what it makes it interesting for me. Like,
Okay.
there are certain kind of Japanese literatures which I don't like so much, but I think it's interesting to just get a feeling for Japanese literature. It wouldn't be my favorite literature.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's value to read this and to learn it.
Yeah.
Because yes, I
because
get
it's
that.
different. So
Yes.
I can read English literature and German literature and can get the ideas from there, and then I can read Japanese literature and get different ideas from there.
Okay.
So
No, I 100% agree. Listening to you, I certainly agree. Wow, but I unfortunately can't
Get into it.
get into that. And again, it's more about me. I don't even, since I was a child, I haven't read anything that isn't like facts. I don't read actually novels or things anymore. It's not part of my life. It's not part of the way I feel and think. So I get it. It's just not interesting to me. So the literature of Japan was of no interest to me as a general person, and anything factual, it was incompetent and not presented well, because that's the structure of the language.
Yeah.
So I'm just out of the game. So for me, I learned.
Yeah.
Should I learn all the kanji, learn to read Japanese? The expression is, the game is not worth the candle. For me.
well, I like reading, so reading is the main focus for me in studying Japanese, because when I went back to Germany 4 years ago, I kind of forgot everything about speaking. And when listening is okay, you can listen to podcasts or whatever, but there's not much opportunity to speak to Japanese people, and I usually don't speak to people when there's no common interest.
Yeah.
So I don't go around talking to Japanese people just because they are Japanese. I want to speak to people because they are interesting.
Yeah.
So
You would have to work at keeping it. You would have to really work at it.
and I don't see the sense in that. So
Interesting. Okay.
reading is what I can do.
But do you think the reading, you'd be able to keep it up, though, or would you have to read all the time the same thing? If you didn't do it frequently, you'd lose that too, surely.
Not really. I might lose, like I did before, the pronunciation of the kanji, but because I've studied Chinese before, so I know the meaning of the kanji, and the pronunciation doesn't really matter to me anymore.
Since you're just reading over the symbols.
Yeah.
Got it.
Interesting.
Reminds me of when I was trying to teach Japanese youth American, or I guess English essay writing styles, short essays, because they were youth.
Here in Japan.
Yeah, here in Japan.
Okay.
And we're teaching, the simplest way to say it, I guess, is tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them.
Yeah, that's the classic.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
it's a thing, it's a real thing.
It's a real thing that we do. Ohayou gozaimasu. Hi. Hi, Sumi-san. Hi. But when I tried to explain this to them, they just couldn't fathom this argumentation style or this way of communicating ideas. And they would tell me about a style called Kisho Tenketsu, which is, it says the key would be an introduction where you state or say what you're going to talk about and then develop it a little bit. And then the 10 is talk about something completely unrelated, and then ketsu at the end is kind of connect them. So they give a 4-line example of this thought process. Would be, the characters are daughters of Itoya in Osaka. That's the first one.
Okay.
Show, or the development. The eldest daughter is 16, and the younger one is 14.
Okay.
10.
With this so far?
Yep. 10, the twist. Historically in Japan, warriors have killed their enemies with bows and arrows. And then Ketsu, however, the daughters of Itoya kill only with their eyes. Alright, so we've got daughters, we know their ages. Warriors kill people with bows and arrows. And then the daughters of Itoya kill with their eyes. So there's a 4-line example. But
okay. And then a whole novel could be like this.
yes, so whole novels or essays trying to explain things or share their thoughts and ideas are presented in this way, and it can get very, very, very
long.
confusing.
Yeah, but you have to think about it. So you have to really figure out what the narrative is about.
Yeah, why don't they just tell me what it's about?
I put the fun in it, right?
Okay.
I've read a short, what's it called, short novel?
Short stories, short
about
novels, yeah.
an old man who looks through his nengajo, like the New
Yeah.
Year's cards, and he gets several from several people, and his son invites him like every year, and his former colleague, like he was a boss, and how to say this, he was
Subordinates?
yes. One of his subordinates invites him to come to his new workplace, and he really does it and visits the other people, and he's not really welcome. So the conclusion is, Japanese people write something and invite people.
They don't mean it.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. We have that. We really should do lunch.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I'll call.
Let's,
Okay, good.
let's get together sometime.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, of course.
But
Yeah, but I think I
they're saying show and tell, by the way.
I had to read it like 3 times to get
The gist, yeah.
Every event.
You got it. That sounds confusing.
Well, as I said, I get it. That's what literature is about. And as I said, I'm telling you more about myself. You know, that I just don't. Whatever. Don't ask me to judge Nobel Prize literature. I'm incapable of doing it. Okay, as we said, this show and tell is not a surprise here. It's not something that's came in. I got these years ago. In fact, I think I bought them in the early days of the internet. I think actually it was one of those things. Once the internet came up, you could, oh my God, you could go online and this guy in a
Buy
bookstore-
anything from anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, here, in fact, I think the original receipt is in the package here.
Thank you.
What's the date on this?
Much
It might have-
appreciated.
Oh, it's eBay. eBay. Is there a date on this? It ends April 24th, 02. That's not 1902. That must be 2002. So this is
16 or 17 years ago.
17 years ago I bought this.
Wow.
And the reserve is met. Auction is ended. $338 US.
Wow.
First bid $9.99. Number of bids 2.
What? Started at $10 and went to $338.
I'd like to see the bid history, but I guess that's probably gone by now. So.
Most likely.
No, I know what it is. It's probably me and Mark Kahn. Mark Kahn put his bid in at 325. Max bid, and it only showed $9.99 at the beginning.
Right.
And I tried to snipe it at the end, and I must have had 350 or something, or whatever. I don't know.
So it just shot straight up.
Yeah, I don't remember. Of course, I don't remember. Interesting. It's rare. Here we are. Have we shown? It's a 3-book set with box called The Sword and Blossom Poems. And it's, let me get this out because the cover has decayed. At some point, it's on my list of things to do to fix the cover. The cover is one of these, folding things up that's got bone things. And there's it. It's the Hasegawa font, Sword and Blossom Poems. And we'll talk about the font in a minute. Anyway, the cover is broken. Let's just get it out of the way. That drove up the price of the auction, but it crumbled into decay. And here we are. I can't see the screen here. Can we tell it's got? Okay. It is a set of 3 books. Marked Sword and Blossom Poems. And the covers, as you might expect, are in crepe, and they're a little bit different. The crepe books we showed the other day, the covers were soft and flexible.
Right.
So the whole book had no, what they call boards, it had no stiffening. These 3 books have actual, whatever it is, cardboard or something inside, so that it's a hardbound book.
119, what year?
1930. Cool. These books are published in, I think 1905 or 1910 or something. I don't remember exactly. There's a gift, is it? From one lady to another lady.
Yes, always.
Interesting. 1930.
In 1930, that is quite
Okay.
interesting.
Okay. Or we're reading more into it than we might. Cameron always might yell. I guess we don't do that, do we? No, whatever. Okay, anyway, here we go. And let me just quick flip through. The book itself is not a crepe paper book. The book itself is in the non-craped version. It's printed on wood blocks. And this book is really special in that the text is not done with metal type. The text is all carved.
Wow.
Every letter of the text on every page of this book through all 3 volumes, where's my finger for sizing with the scale, is carved. And what you are seeing is a font that Hasegawa and his team developed for doing these.
Is that the same font on our snow print?
Yes, sir, because the snow print is
Right there. Ha! Very cool.
And the story. Now, there's no documentation from the Hasegawa people about this. Researchers have looked for this. His earliest books that he published that had lettering in it had a really rough ABC type stuff. Somebody must have just done lettering A, B, C, D, E, or whatever. And I can imagine when they sent that to the carver must just have said, "What are these chicken scratches? I can't, it doesn't work for the carver." And we see this in the Meiji era. There are a lot of books published now in Japanese English dictionaries, and they were published in woodblock form, and they had to have ABC lettering and stuff.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. It just didn't work. So what Hasegawa did, or had one of his people do, he worked out a font, a shape for the letter A, a shape for the letter B, C, D, E, whatever. Obviously, he had somebody brush it with a brush.
Yeah.
And they were all carvable. Because they were made by a brush, they were all carvable. And some of them have different glyphs. The H at the beginning of a word might be different from the H at the end of a word or in the middle of it. They're not all exactly the same. There's different versions of the letter A and stuff like this.
And they still are being hand carved.
And
so
everything, and the whole thing, there's no typing font, so all the A's are not the same. Every A was brushed by hand in brush and then carved by hand by letter. So every single one is different. Here, look at the L here and the L here. The glyph shapes are a little bit different because it was naturally flowing from somebody's brush. Here's the D here, and here's the D here. And if we're close enough to see these things, every single one is different, but there is still clearly a font involved. They're similar enough that they flow and they have a similar appearance. And it's been on my list of things to do for decades now, is to take this set of books, scan in all the text, and some of the pages have just, you try and find a text-heavy page. Some of the pages are really text-heavy. You want a letter E, there are 5,000 versions of the letter E in this book. So scan it in, pull that stuff into a font editor, and make an open type version or a true type version of this font, because I would die to have this.
That would be very, very cool.
The capital letters, you need a lot of glyphs, because they flow depending on the way it is. A lot of alternate versions. Shiba-san, good morning. TH, they've run the TH together. Here too, you've got a double T. There are lots of, high-class fonts really do have this. There's lots of alternate glyphs for the different combinations that come up, And I would love this. And it's generically now called the Hasegawa font, although when you search for Hasegawa font, nobody out in the world knows what it is. But I would love to have this. And we're going to be talking about this in this next video coming up. So the crepe paper books we saw yesterday were just normal ABC Katsuji. These are all carved and printed. The image is done, and then the key block, the lettering. And the lettering is a different black than the images. So I think they kept their options open. They put the images on one set of wood blocks and put the text on another set of wood blocks. You can do whatever you do, friend. Yeah, exactly.
But you don't know whether they did do any other languages?
The Sword and Blossom book is only known in the format that I'm showing you here. A set of 3 in flat paper, printed on beautiful hosho with the text in English. I'm not aware of any foreign language version of it. And it's just stunningly beautiful. A different sort of beauty than we had with the crepe paper books yesterday. They have that soft, ineffable lightness. These feel like a normal book. When you pick it up, you wouldn't feel anything strange or unusual about it. But they are just so beautiful. And you saw what I paid, $300 and whatever dollars for it. Cheap at half the price. Well, cheap at twice the price, so whatever.
I would pay to have that font.
Now the poems, these are poems from traditional Japanese literature, from Tanka era or stuff like this. And they've roughly split them up into two types. Poems about warriors and stuff, and poems about life and love and things like that. Oh, look at this. Can we get this? Is it visible there, the embossing?
A little bit. Yeah.
I find the angle here. The petals are done so light it just looks like they're embossed. They've done the same thing we saw on some of the kuchie, on the inside and outside the paper. Autumn moon, where's the cat?
Where's the cat? Same one.
These are, I should mention one thing. We talked yesterday in the book, we were talking about where the gradations on their left and the gradations on the right, they were carved on different blocks, because the left side of our print and the right side of our print were on different blocks. This is different. This is not sewn binding. This is an album format. So the thing you're looking at here is one page, printed as one page from one wood block left to right, and then not folded backwards, like the thread binding, but folded forwards and then glued at the edge. So between every two pages, I can put my fingers inside and spread it around, but this is a different kind of binding. These are glued at the front. This is not one sheet of paper folded back and forth. So the benefit from this is you get this to make the print as a single sheet of paper. Wood grain, carved wood grain. This is not wood grain from the wood block. This is carved wood grain. And they've tried to make it look like a piece of paper. Oh, looks like a pirate map.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You get a map of buried treasure in the video games. You know?
Yeah.
And it's the usual Hasegawa carving and printing. Incredibly delicate printing. It's really heavily romanticized. There's a poem in here by, in fact, if I can, let me just try and find it. Where's volume 3? Volume 3 has a bit of a thing at the end. Just a second here. Here, postscript. And they're talking about some of the things you've just seen. And we have something like this. I don't know if I can find the phrase here. Also, they're describing one of these poems, one about a patriot, and it was it's a real poem in Japan, written by a known person who was involved in the revolution, the Meiji restoration of Zen to the Emperor. And here we have here the poem, blah blah blah, and it is of course understood that the patriot is about to die by his own hand. So the Westerners who prepared this book, they did the translations and worked with Hasegawa. They had a very romanticized, idealized view of this Bushido society, you know. Someone like me looks at that patriot who's going to die by his own hand and just sees somebody who's so heavily propagandized he doesn't understand the meaning of life anymore. But, you know, people in different eras and different places thought about different things, you know. And the Westerners at that time were really receptive to this. Oh my God, this glorious Japanese culture. Where someone like me sees this as a sick way of thinking. Yeah. But the books live and survive, and they are just glorious, just beautiful. Anyway, we'll be featuring these in the next video. We'll see them in passing, actually, because these aren't crepe paper books. Morning.
Good morning. Hey. Welcome.
Okay, I think we'll wrap it up there. They are just a little bit of a touch, bit of an introduction to these things. You know, once we get our collection available upstairs, things like this will be on display, rotating display. People will be able to request them and look at them and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, we gotta go. Yeah, what's today? Today's Wednesday. We'll be back here on Friday. Not we. I will be back here on Friday. This guy's off to play. He's off to play for a couple weeks. Is it 10 days?
It's 10 days. Yeah.
Okay. Not so bad. You'll survive. You're probably thinking, Dave hasn't done the bookkeeping for like a year and a half, and I've forgotten. He's thinking, Dave's forgotten how much of a dirty chore it is. So for the next 10 days, I'm going to have to, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Cameron's life is a drudge. He's going to come back, and one of two things will happen. I'll say, over to you again. Good, get out of my sight. Or I'll say, Cameron, we got to figure out this job. Get somebody else to do this. Or something like that. It's going to remind me again how much it's...
Wait, I can do this so fast. Why do I even have you anymore, Cameron?
That's a third option. Okay.
Third option.
I'd be doing this in 10 minutes a day. What he's been doing, taking... I wasn't even thinking about that, but okay. Is that going to happen?
I hope
don't
not.
think so. I don't think so. Hey, let's get out of here.
Okay.
I'll be back here Friday morning, back with the owl carving, and actually it looks like I'm almost finished that block,
Yeah,
so
with
it'll
the
be
heat.
color separations. I guess we'll see. See you Friday morning. Thanks very much. Bye-bye. Where's the button?